All right. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. I thought I'd start out with um, the Not My Rabbit Hole theme song for the moment.
Save my soul. Went up downtown. Went up downtown. Went up downtown. Come on to save my soul. Went up downtown. I went up downtown. Went up downtown. I pop save my soul. Pop save my soul. Pop save my soul. Pop save my soul. I save my soul. Pop save my soul. Oh, pop save my soul. Pop save my soul. Pop save my soul. Pop save my soul. Oh, pop save my soul. Pop save my soul. Pop save my soul. Pop save my soul. Oh, pop save my soul. Pop save my soul. Save my soul. Pop save my soul. Pop save my soul. Pop save my soul. Went up downtown. I went up downtown. Went up downtown. I was walking out one evening late. Moon was rising, headed for the riverside. Around us fuss and fight.
All right. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. This is March 22nd, 2025. I'm just having some I get the mushroom coffee. God, I sound like an old person. I get the mushroom coffee. I get mushroom coffee from No Do's, and I just made a cup of it before the show. And if you once you start getting um regular delivery of the mushroom coffee. I'm not advertising this, by the way. I'm just, bringing it up. But, maybe I will be a sponsor. Who knows? I got kind of seduced on the mushroom coffee, because there's this really good looking, long haired guy on Facebook that was using it. And I was like, boy, I got to get some of that coffee. And so I did. And I like it. It's a nice switch from regular coffee. Sometimes I drink both. I drink coffee and I drink mushroom coffee. I am a coffee drinker. I am a fan of the caffeine. So I love the way it smells. I like the way it tastes. I love to meet people and have coffee. Uh, I like to do Not My Rabbit Hole rants and have mushroom coffee. So I have been super busy, super, super, super busy. And one of the places that I feel that I have not streamed on is YouTube channel, my YouTube channel. I used to stream quite frequently, and I like to have those early morning. Well, it's not necessarily early. It's almost 11 o'clock here on the West Coast. But I like to do rants. I mean, the whole concept of Not My Rabbit Hole was to speak and say things and give thoughts and however. I mean, this morning, I mean, I guess I could talk about things that are politically happening. There's a lot going on. One thing that I did share on X was that, and I don't know, I might have shared it on my timeline here as well, is that Trump has signed an executive order to dismantle the Department of Education. And of course, being a college student, I am following that progression there. Although it has to be decided by Congress. I think Congress implemented the Department of Education during Jimmy Carter's administration, and it was passed through Congress. So Congress has to make the ultimate decision on whether or not they're going to allow Trump to dismantle the Department of Education. Also, it doesn't affect, his dismantling does not affect Pell Grants and things like this, but or financial aid loans and all that kind of stuff for most students, but it could affect, they're saying that it might have an effect on low income families in getting an education. Historically, there has been discrimination with minorities within the educational system, and anybody that really wants to argue that needs to go back in history and really understand how at one point Black people had difficulty getting an education. Obviously, back when pre-Civil War times, when they were slaves, they were not allowed to have an education. So that's been limited. I think even at one point, like, women were, almost not really thought of as being a human to have an education. Women had different roles in society. Becoming educated is important. I know that in conspiracy world, right, there's this belief that education is indoctrinating people to like just function within the system, and that that's not necessarily true. I mean, that's a very, like white and black kind of statement. Either or, it's this or that. It's not anything in between. And one of the things that was a benefit going back to college, being a full, being an adult and working in the world and having a life, and then going back and getting more education, I realized that there were a lot of things that I missed, even though I actually was alive during some of the things that I was learning about historically. One of the things that I've learned recently, I'm taking a Asian American Studies class, and the focus is on Cambodian, Hmong, and Laos populations, like specifically in what happened now in the United States, but historically, how they were brought over as refugees into the United States. And one of the things that I think is really interesting, I think that those of us in this world, right? I'm talking about conspiracy world because, I mean, there's no way that I can deny that I have a background in, um, doing shows on platforms that call themselves, breaking out of the matrix, or, determining what real reality is, or this is the truth. And a lot of the things that I explored on those networks were certain things that had to do with the CIA and secret wars and things like this. And there was a real, the CIA was involved with the secret war in Laos. And under Dwight D. Eisenhower, he had the CIA go and train Hmong, the Hmong population in fighting against France, in that area, right? It's like this pre-Vietnam War, and we made promises to the Hmong people that if you fight in this war against against French colonialism and communism, then we're going to give you such and such benefits later on. We're going to take care of you. We'll bring you to the United States. And it wasn't really as cut and dry. As a matter of fact, afterwards, when they were devastated and were exiles to Thailand, the United States said, well, they're too primitive to be able to like function in U.S. society, and they got dismissed for a while. And then they came into our educational system, and people that speak another language have to take this educational learning English test to see if you're proficient in English. And if you're not, you get put in this program. And the program is kind of biased. Like, even if you become proficient, your teacher can decide, no, I'm going to override all of this and keep them in this program. And the program, got a lot of money from it got a lot of money for funding, but it kind of put dual language students who were born in the United States, their parents did have citizenship, but it kind of colored them. It kind of put like a mark on them so that they had difficulty going into higher education. And that's just another example of how, America has, not given fair education to all people. It's strange that there's a lot of cutting of services that would help people that need help. Like, and there's talking of like Social Security being cut, or there's talking there's talk of they've always, over the years they've always said they're going to take our Social Security away from us. I mean, even George Carlin in his last stand-up routine said they're coming for your Social Security, and they're gonna get it. They're gonna take everything away from you. I mean, there's this kind of feeling of, here's a person that you come into the world, right? And we go to school, and we get our degrees, and we get our jobs, and then we get to 65 and we can retire if we want. And unless you had a decent career, right, from your education and all those kind of things, theoretically, you would have 401ks and pension plans and all this other kind of stuff on top of Social Security, right? But there's some people that never really got there like that. I mean, I could be determined as being one of those people, but, that's the reason why I went back to college, because I figure I have, another quarter at least of my life, God willing, to have some financial security in a job that I'm passionate about doing. And, that's really why I went back. to college. And a lot of people, and not a lot of people, I would say the negative people on YouTube, they want to say things like, "Oh, she's a failed comedian. You're failed. Where's your Netflix special?" And all this other kind of stuff. And in a way, like as a person that has worked as a comedian and continues to work as a comedian, because I think like once you do stand up, you always do stand up. Like, it's not something that, you say, "Oh, I tried it, but, I didn't get the HBO special yet," or anything like that. That I'm not going to, it's like, if you're a musician and you play a guitar, or you play a guitar because you like playing a guitar, not just because you don't have, a big record deal, or you don't have a number one hit someplace, that you're never going to maybe share your talent with, the population. You're not going to ever, like, you're like, oh, when you're not going to perform anymore because, I don't have, I'm this age and I don't have, that particular thing that I would have liked to have had. Right. I mean, like, when I was on Last Comic Standing, the whole thing was a search of the funniest person in America to give them a development deal for a sitcom. Because that's the funnel in which, at the time when I was on that show. Oh, here I got, like, hold on. At the time when I was on Last Comic Standing, that was that's what comics did. They got a sitcom, and then maybe they went into film and television, or you might get a radio show, or all kinds of other different things. And in my life, right, I got this huge exposure from being on Last Comic Standing to where people would recognize me on the street. Like, I would be walking down the street, going to the AM/PM to get, a pack of cigarettes. And, a guy, I'd be walking down the hill, and a car would pull up near me and go, "Oh, are you the girl on that show?" Like, it was like that. And that's an interesting experience to have, because not everybody has that experience in life, to where they do something at some point, whether it's positive or negative. Some people are big criminals and they end up, everybody knows who they are in pop culture or whatever. But I had a moment of pop culture recognition for like a hot minute. And it was interesting to experience. I see that. I see getting to that place on Last Comic Standing and being a finalist like I was, and doing 2 seasons, and being on Comedy Central, and doing stuff with the E Channel, and being big in 2003 on VH1, and being written up about in People magazine, and such, right? And like, for me, there's a level of commercial success that I have had. There are a lot of people that are out, the haters, on YouTube, and probably some of the people that maybe are listening to me right now, or they're going to watch this later or whatever, they will, they have, a different narrative about who I am and what I've done in my life and what kind of person I am. And, there's this, outward judgment on what they think, this group of people think that I am or not. And, in a sense, that also is part of what comes with being in the public eye, or being what you would call, I would say, I'm a former reality television star. Like, I've already read negativity and positive things about me in the public eye. there's, really nothing. I mean, how much are you going to, do you, as a person, do you allow that to completely stop you from doing what you do, from doing what makes you happy, from doing what you're, from achieving your goals of what you're wanting to do with your life? Do you allow all of that to affect your sense of happiness and passion and whatever? No, I don't think you can, because it's kind of like the way of the world, really. And especially since we have, social media has boomed the way it has, where anybody who has an account has a voice to, take their thumbs and put out whatever they're going to put out to the public. The problem is, and this is where, people talk about lawsuits and this and that, but you got to understand, what exactly is defamation on social media? What exactly can somebody be sued for? It's not really like having an opinion, like saying, like, okay, if somebody puts it out there, oh, Terry is a failed comedian. Well, that's an opinion. Like, people that know me as an entertainer, who actually might like my stand-up, might look at somebody and go, whatever, they're not even going to care, because they already like me. People do like me too, so just because somebody makes a statement of an opinion about somebody doesn't make it a fact, and it's not liable in court. But when you are saying things, accusing people of like criminal activity or criminal things that you're supposedly doing to them, and there are falsehoods, then it's those things that are liable to be sued upon. Also, in those particular kinds of lawsuits, which are not very easy to win, really. But let's say you have evidence for that, you can do it. You have to weigh the option of, have you suffered any financial loss from it? And how significant is that financial loss from, the lies that these people are, saying about you? Like, sometimes it's just better to, say your piece however you want to do it, in response to what is happening, and really just go about your merry, just go on with your way. My feeling now that, and I know I might sound like I'm being really nebulous and like, what is she talking about? I'm trying to talk about a topic without including anybody's name into it. Like, I'm trying to discuss like situations, of things that happen or are happening within a certain demographic or echo chamber of YouTube. And I think, unfortunately, and again, I want to, thank the new subscribers that have come to my channel. I mean, I put out shorter content, and I'm not sure exactly to what aspect you found me, or what made you want to, watch or be part of the Not My Rabbit Hole club. I don't know if it's a club, family. I don't know. Saying like, be part of this channel. I appreciate you being here. But there's been a point where I feel like this has just gotten so consuming on my YouTube channel, and how I was talking about it, that I'm kind of tired of talking about it. Like, I'm not, to be honest with you, like, everybody acts like I'm like looking all over their stuff, and oh, she's stalking us and whatever. No, not really. I mean, not at all. Like, I have 16 units, and I'm finishing up my bachelor's degree in digital journalism, and writing articles for the Collegian. And I have some good news. I actually have been accepted into the MFA program for nonfiction creative writing. So I'm going to go on and get my master's. And I'd like to be able, like, the goal is I want to have the option of being a professor. So and I want to write articles and work in newspapers and magazines, and however I'd like to be published. And I'd like to have the opportunity to teach. And this program has like an option for a student to do that, to TA a writing class in the third year of the program. So, like, when I say I've been busy because this entire semester, while I'm trying to finish up my degree, I've also been writing a second essay because I had to submit two essays for review to get in to the program. And one of the things that the feedback that I got that they really liked about me was that I wrote funny, that I had a unique perspective, and that I was able to, like, what I wrote was humorous in its expression. And that made me feel really good. I mean, that to me, that is like, well, that is like, well, I am a comedian. Like, that is where I am able to add something different to a program or to a group, or in writing just in general. So, like, in a way, like, all that negativity, oh, she's this, she's spelled, she's whatever, she's, rah, rah, rah. Actually, I don't see it that way. I just see that I have found different ways to share my talent and ability, and have a career from it. I mean, the whole thing about going back to college was to get real skills in journalism, in writing, to where I could be a professional. I wanted to learn about the media, and I wanted to learn how to be ethical about the things that I'm saying. Uh, I would say that I can't say that before I went to college that I haven't made mistakes when I was on American Freedom Radio or Truth Cat Radio or any of these other type of uh, platforms that I did shows and that I covered other topics. I would say, with the knowledge that I have now, I would not cover those topics in the same manner in which I did. All right. In terms of, like, not my rabbit hole and anything that I have done on this channel, I think that for the most part, I have done commentary on things of what other people have done to me and shown receipts for those things. I have not participated or accused the other people of doing the things that they accuse me of. And, I'll just say it right now, the SRA victim out there that is, bellowing about me still for whatever reason, I don't know, and saying I'm associated with the musician who is bellowing and saying that I'm associated with the SRA victim. And really, I don't want anything to do with any of these individuals. Like it's just more like drama to make it look like people are confused about what's really going on. If you really look at my channel, I'm not talking about them. I mean, I know that I'm addressing the situation in this particular rant, but am I using their names? No. I'm giving you the situation. Now, if you understand what I'm talking about, you know that I'm making a statement about it. But what I'm doing right now is not defamation. I'm not spreading lies or rumors about those people. I'm commenting on my experience of what I perceive them to be doing to me. And there lies the difference in dialogue when you're either being an abusive person, like if you're on YouTube and you're calling people names, like, insulting their appearance, their age, their income, saying their name in a way that they don't use on YouTube, full legal names repeatedly in, like, let's say 240 characters, and you're saying things and accusing people of criminal activities of which they are not guilty of, that's the defamation, that is the abuse. And it seems like, and from my perception of what happens on YouTube, is there's these little pockets of channels that go under the guise that they're actually doing something good, that they're actually helping finding children and such noble, adventures of people. But what they're doing is they're using the crime that they're supposedly trying to catch people on and smearing people that are not guilty of it on their channel and having these, wild fights between one each other. And then they reformulate it and make realliances and go at each other again. It's like, you know what? I as a college student that's getting their degree in digital journalism and getting ready to go into the MFA program for creative nonfiction writing, I don't have time for that. I don't care about it. I don't know most of these people that are arguing. I know some of them. I know some of them have attacked me, but I really have no interest in any of it. And if I happen to let's say do a screenshot of the musician creating havoc in a chat, doesn't mean I was in that chat that night. Does anybody not think that maybe sometimes people send me stuff? Like, I don't have time to be and watch everybody's chat. I might investigate. Like, I am interested in what the SRA victim is spouting out of his mouth about me, or I might be interested in what the musician is posting on his YouTube community page, or his ex that he keeps getting, ex violations for. Maybe, I'd like to know what defamation they are saying about me, because if I do ever see their face in court, I'm going to have that as documentation. I think the thing that, people need to pay attention to is what people are saying, how they're saying what they're saying, and how similar they're all saying the same thing about certain people. That's how you find out who's aligned with who. You do not see me repeating what the musician posts about other people. I do not mimic group talk. So that should be an indication to anybody who is curious about me and what I'm doing with my life and what my involvement in any of this is, or what I might be guilty of. Just know that I'm not repeating their defamation they say about other people with them, or still repeating it but pretend like I'm not with them. Because if you're repeating what the musician writes, even though you say you're not with the musician, because you're repeating and attacking the same people, shows an alliance automatically, because you're not thinking on your own about anything that's happening here. You're not doing your own investigations. You're not being objective about anybody or their life or who they are or anything like that. You're simply going along and ganging up on other individuals, repeating the same thing. And when I say so-and-so is aligned with so-and-so, that is my barometer in determining why I think that. So, good morning, Paul. Hi, Angela. And hi, Orange. Welcome to the live stream. So I wanted to share just, those thoughts, because I have my own experience in going through my life, and then, watching certain things being said about me by people. Some of it, when I repeat it back to my mom or whatever, for example, a certain individual was saying that I was a trans person after I wrote an article about women of transgender women not being able to compete in sports in college anymore after Trump's executive order. So that, I mean, I was reporting on something, the collegiate reaction to this and everything. And now, apparently, I'm a transgender woman. That's just like one example of some of the stuff that has been said about me. That is, when I told my mom, she started laughing. She goes, "Oh my God, no, these people have a life." I go, "No, apparently they don't. They don't have a life." And so, that being said, I thought I would just show the article. I'm going to put it here in the chat. If you go on my timeline, it's called "Pushed Off the Podium." And it's published at the Collegian. If you want to read it, you can. And so I'm just going to throw it in the chat here. It's not my opinions about what's going on. I mean, it is like an opinion piece, but I'm writing, it's what I did. It's called an aggregation. So I'm combining different articles together to come out with a new bullet point, a new article on it. It's called aggregation. So I'm including different colleges in the United States in the argument about, I mean, in their reaction to what happened. And it was a class assignment, and I was looking around what was going on in different college campuses, and that particular topic I thought was timely, and it stuck out to me. So I did the article on that particular topic. But what was interesting is that a certain person, on X is, making X posts about how I'm weird and a transgender person that's obsessed with them. Oh God. Oh, it's too funny. It's too funny. Like I have to laugh about it, but at the same time, these people are, they're associated with that group. And I hate to say group, but they're associated with doing this type of stuff about people on the internet for a very long time. And when you see, a monarcher of them saying, what is it, like psychological warfare because physical wounds heal, and they use that as their moniker, then you know that is what they're actually doing on the internet. They're saying what they do. And I'm not interested in doing that to people. I don't like hurting people. I don't like saying things about them that is unflattering. I don't like to make fun of their appearance. I don't like to, judge them. Right? I mean, I might judge what they're doing, and I'm not going to spread lies about them. And I really think it's really like there's these like middle-aged women running around acting like they're like to me, it's like, well, is this where the mean girls from high school grow up and become? Is these bitter old ladies that are just, rah, 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 at each other. I'm like, wow. I mean, you are in a later phase of your life, and this is like the energy and the toxicity that you want to put out on the internet. That's just exhausting to me. When would a person called you a beard? Hi Pavana. yeah, I just think that it's not, it's like a waste of time. It's a waste of time. And in many respects, really very recently, I have really emotionally and just mentally pulled back from all of it. I just feel like more like an observer of something rather than, a participant. I've seen enough. All right. I've seen enough. It's crazy to me. If you want to sit on your channel and, pretend like the, SRA victim in England, if she wants to sit on her channel, here's another airplane. If she wants to sit on her channel and pretend like I'm stalking her all the way over in Ireland. Here we go. Well, I'm finishing up 16 units of college and, working on top of it and doing extra projects on top of that in my real life. Like, seriously, like, where would I have, like, how do you even stalk somebody in another country? I don't even know where to start, really. Like, that's just crazy to me. But, here she is, a month ago or 6 weeks ago or 2 months ago, I don't know, beginning of this year, that's what she was, saying on her channel. And then if I have anything to say about it, oh, I'm jealous. I've got the green-eyed monster. It's just like, it's just more and more gaslighting is what it is. If you're going to talk about people, show the evidence of how that is. If somebody is sharing your AI generated nasty ass images of them, showing what your person is doing to like someone like me on X, that is not a copyright infringement. Like, you can't, like, and I'm thinking, okay, so are they talking to the peanut gallery? Because anybody that can do an AI overview search can, pretty much find out any legality on anything that's being said. And the irony of it is I'm taking a media law class this semester while I get all these threats of all these lawsuits. And trust me, whenever anything comes across me, I read the fine print. Like, I understand what is going on exactly, but they'll paint it as being like this and that, and they'll cross over criminal with civil, and I'm going to sue you from my backyard in Utah. I mean, like, I just really just go take a hike, man, because, like, when I look at it, it just all looks ridiculous to me. All of it. It just like this is just a huge shit show. It's a clown show. It's like this over here. Look over here. I'm going to say this. I'm going to contradict myself with this, but still say this. It's like, it's and then if you get really caught up in it, it's just a waste of headspace. Do something else. I don't get it. And what I also don't understand is a lot of these people have been around each other and doing this for years. For years. For years. For years. What is the payoff in that? Like, I'm always wondering, like, what is the payoff in that? Wow, have I been up for 45 minutes? I have. I like doing rants. I designed this, not my rabbit hole. That was on Canva. I made that up this morning. I was like, you know what? I want to go back to doing a not my rabbit hole rant and just, talk about things. One of the things that I do want to share with you, though, if you're looking for something, it's not a great movie on YouTube. How I watch things. Sometimes I watch things and I'll share it on my YouTube timeline. But in conspiracy world, in conspiracy world, you know how like people talk about the Mandela effect, right? And there's a movie, it's kind of on the shorter side. It's only like an hour and 15 minutes. Looking at it as a screenplay in general, I think the screenplay itself has some flaws in it. That's probably why it's not as popular as it was, but some of you might have remembered it. I'm gonna go ahead and put this in the chat in case you are interested or you are into topics like the Mandela effect. And I go ahead and put this in here. And then I wanted to show like just a short clip of another guy who covered the topic, which is interesting. I'm kind of interested in the thought of, in a simulation or what might have been going on, but it's called the Mandela effect. The plot line is, I'll just go ahead and share it here so you can look at it. Wait. I'm going to take the volume down a little bit so that I might just like share the screen. Let me put this here. Doing something different here. So let me. Why is it doing that? Huh. I don't know. Maybe it's not going to let me share for some reason. That's bizarre. I put a cover on this. Oh, here, wait. No, add to stage. How come I'm not seeing that? Maybe because I have an overlay. Let me get rid of this overlay here. Okay, there we go. Okay, I see how that works. All right, so yeah, I'm just kind of showing a little bit of it, but the plot is that he's a gamer, as you can see there. He's a gamer. And his daughter passes away. Okay, and then I did all that just to like pretty much show you nothing. His daughter passes away accidentally. They're on the beach and she goes out and she dies, and then she's reading like the book, the Bearstein book, and he starts to realize these strange anomalies that are happening, like what all the things that happened that we looked at when the Mandela effect was being talked about for the first time. But one of the things that stuck out to me, and I don't know if you guys remember this, was the reference of how publishers, remember Ed McMahon and Publishers Clearinghouse? And, I remember him knocking on people's doors with a big check from Publishers Clearinghouse saying, you won this big check, blah, 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 on the commercials and stuff like that. And they're saying that never happened. And I was like, no way. And I just want to look at that thing again. The Publishers Clearinghouse effect, Publishers Clearinghouse. So I'm just looking it up really quick so I can give you the right thing. Okay, so according to Snopes, all right, if you want to, according to Snopes, right, it says here are several reasons why so many Americans think they remember entertainer Ed McMahon working for Publishers Clearinghouse. False. There's no evidence that McMahon ever worked for Publishers Clearinghouse. He was, however, a spokesperson for American Family Publishers. In an old television commercials for American Family Publishers, the word publishers appeared much larger than American Family. Perhaps the company knew that so many American households had confused the two brands, believing that McMahon worked for the competition. So entertainer Ed McMahon was never a spokesperson for the Publishers Clearinghouse sweepstakes. However, there appears to be a large number of Americans who believe that he was. This is an example of false memory known as the Mandela effect. So, Snopes and stuff, they've automatically said, this is just collective false memory. But then, it makes me wonder if, and I always have to think about these things, right? I don't know about you, but if they're just saying that, like there's a media publication fact checker that just, they say, oh, that's a false memory. That never really happened. Now we have something called a collective false memory to cover up the fact that it's actually really happening. That what if we are in some sort of a simulation, or the parameters of our reality aren't exactly how we think it is? And what's interesting about the movie is it does go through the different scientists, they kind of, as a quick little overview of people talking about alternate realities or string theory or different things like that. And of course, how, like, when you watch something on YouTube, right, or anywhere, you get more of what you watched. And so I don't know if you guys are subscribed to Woodward TV. Do you listen to him? Well, I saw this video, and I will play a little bit of it for you, just to kind of give you an idea and say, his commentary on a simulation is here it is, the hidden language of the assimilation. And so let me pull this up here. Let me see. So here's some things I'm going to do. I'm planning on doing over the next few days. I'm not, while I'm still in college, I hope to do a TikTok live stream, opening my graduation box, because I haven't opened it up yet. I thought I'd make a TikTok live stream over that, which I might replay here on YouTube. All right, here we go. Let's play a little bit of this. Oh, wait. Let me put the volume up. Oh, and before that, I'm just doing fair use. So we're just educating the public, which is you. And if you come, please like and subscribe to my channel. I hope to do more content and more freedom of, I was going to say freedom of Joyce rants, but not my rabbit hole rants. That's my old show. All right, here we go.
PCs, P-zombies, hyper-reality, all topics associated with simulation theory. But we still haven't defined what the simulation actually is. Maybe because we live in a world that I believe was designed. It just feels like a simulation because it was designed by an architect that many of us call God. But within that design, there are rules. And I believe that there are invisible moderators, fallen angels, demons, evil spirits, things like that, who have used those rules of this design to enslave us. Not really physically, but a spiritual and mental slavery, which seems to be much worse. Anyway, today I want to talk about something else that you may want to consider when venturing out into the world. Have you ever had moments where the world feels like it's speaking directly to you? Maybe you keep seeing the same number over and over, like 11:11 on the clock, or randomly run into someone who gives you exactly the advice you needed to hear. I can't tell you how many times people have commented and said that a video I uploaded came at exactly the right time. Maybe you think about something and suddenly a stranger in the grocery store starts talking about that exact topic. But more often it comes through the media, right? You'll see a reference to it on your social media feed, whatever that is, or it is mentioned in a movie or TV show you're watching, and you laugh and say, wow, I can't believe I was just thinking about that, or just talking to my friend about that. It happens all the time. What is that? It happens way too often for it to be some phenomenon. You see, they are not really telling us how our world works. At first, you brush it off as coincidence, but over time, the patterns become too obvious to ignore. It feels like reality is responding to you, right? Like some hidden force is leading breadcrumbs, guiding you towards something, or maybe keeping you distracted. Maybe those freak occurrences are supposed to happen. Maybe that is part of the design, and maybe we are supposed to have the ability to manipulate the world as we see fit, just like the concept of the one in the Matrix. But for the majority of us, this ability is dormant because we were never taught how to use it. We were never taught how the world is truly designed to work. This is what I call the hidden language of the simulation. Once you start questioning reality, once you step outside the script, the world starts reacting in strange ways. Suddenly you see patterns, coincidences start stacking up. The right people seem to appear at just the right time. I want to break down how synchronicities might be programmed moments rather than divine interventions. The difference between angel numbers and glitch numbers, and whether certain people in your life are actually placed there by the system to influence your path. And finally, the idea that some NPCs aren't just background characters, but tests designed to challenge you in ways you may not have realized. Because once you start seeing the patterns, once you start decoding the language of the simulation, there's no one seeing it. You might as well learn the language, because once you're out, there's no turning back.
Anyway, I love his opening. I mean, he always has a great opening. I don't know if you are familiar with Woodward TV, and I love his song, that opening song. Sometimes I like to dance around to it. I know that might sound weird, but I do. I like his opening song. It works for me. So I'm going to put that in the chat if you want to look into more of it. I mean, I'm a huge Matrix fan. The whole idea of synchronicity. I don't know about you guys, but I have experienced that. Probably like a lot of us that are connected, even within this negativity, have seen the 11:11 and had people come into your life when you were just thinking about them, and all of the above, really. But so, some of you had some comments that I have not addressed. Angela G says, yes, some of those women have nothing better to do than harass people on the internet. It's true. I mean, and then just in response to Angela again, yeah, it's mind-boggling to me, because either they are retired and they have nothing else to do, so they can just do that all day. Because I don't see how anybody who is working or doing real things, when I say real things, I mean working out in the world, and I don't know what it would be that they would want to do or what they do, right? But it just seems like a lot of time and effort. Either like, are you a housewife that just has nothing else to do? Are you tired? Are you getting paid for it? And that's where the paid part comes into it, because when a lot of people don't spend a whole lot of time like that and effort on things that you don't have a monetary advantage for. I think that's a factor of analysis on it. It's like all the time and effort spent. If you are an artist, all the time and effort spent to make these cartoons, to do whatever to these people. I mean, when you look at Pavana's work, right? Oh yeah, she has some cartoons, but she also does a whole body of other work that you see that she shares online. So that, she is just creatively outputting a lot of things which have nothing really to do with these particular people, but she does also make cartoons for that. But, there are certain channels that are out there that have these things that's all they have. They're not showing, it's not a branding for them and their work in general. It's basically everything that they do is about this particular thing. And it's like, well, why are you separating the two, number one? And why are you spending, like, if you're spending that much time and effort in trigger posting or saying things about people or whatever, and it's continuous and it's the only thing you do about a certain individual or something like that, to me those are red flags of like these people doing this. And there's a lot of time and effort, songs being created, all that takes time. Even today, when I thought about like doing this rant, I'm like, well, you know what, I'm gonna need a thumbnail. Me change that back again. So, I created this really quick. It's not like I just came up and go, there's time being done in whatever you choose to do in life or on YouTube or whatever. There's an effort put into it. And if your effort is about spreading disinformation on the internet, and lying about people and saying nasty things about them, then why? What's the why factor? And when you look at the pattern of people and how long they've known each other and how long they've been doing it, then you go, okay, so what exactly am I looking at here? That's how I look at it. I wrote a list of everything I've been called and talked about. It would take up your whole chat. Oh, no doubt. No doubt. I mean, the things that I have, it's like I'm thinking maybe I should make a file and get this, it takes up space on your equipment. It's so much. And, I could say in any given day, one person will post something and then the other person that's connected will post something and, mimic or, affirm the other person, the first person. Then somebody does a video, then, they might do a video and a post about you, or they're, posting, the musician probably posts about me 2-3 times a day, sometimes 4, 5, 6 times a day on multiple platforms. And then the people that are associated with his network, which has to do with other various groups of people that are associated to an ARG game and other things, will reiterate those posts. on theirs, and then he'll go and reshare what they did as as part of what he did, and that is a lot of time and effort, and that's a lot of people involved. How does that motivation, how do people get motivated to do those things, and why? In unison. And they don't just do it to one person, they do it to several people. And then you think, well, how many sock accounts do those people have? Emailing people in the middle of the night so that there's fresh material for SRA guy to go off on. Emailing them, long emails pretending to be other people emailing other people. It just goes on and on and on. Like, that is a lot of time and effort. When do you have time to make music? I mean, I really want to know. Come on, this is... So that's it. I mean, that's kind of thought police. Yeah, the thought police. But it's more like thought police of, like, remember like the those movies like the Communist Police Academy? It's almost like that. It's like it's comical sometimes. It's so out there now that it's like, well, you just went, who's going to believe that? Do they even care? Like, what is the purpose? What is the real purpose behind it? And why have they chosen certain individuals to do that to? What is it that they did that put them on that? And I still question, is the person that they're targeting an actual, are they just part of the LARP? Because they need the person to play the other side of their story. Like, what aspect of it of this is real? Who's real and who's not? Like, I mean, I've got to say that I have days where I question that, and I think it's actually healthy to question that, to be honest with you. But I think the best way to, if you're a person who's watching this from the outside, look at who people really are. Look at what they say about other people. Do they do something else besides this? What is that something else that they do besides this? Where do they spend their time at? How is it that they have a roof over their head? Like, I mean, that's like one of the things, like, how is it, like, because like I start at, I mean, today's my day off, and I don't know why I have extra energy, but I thought, you know what? I feel like talking this morning, talking some ideas out, some thoughts out, sharing something on YouTube. I want you to know that those of you who are here, or that, if you like something or you come to my channel, I do really appreciate you. I do feel that there are people that are here that tune in to my channel because they find value in something that I have uploaded somewhere at some point on this particular channel. And, for those of you who do appreciate that, I appreciate you for appreciating that too. like it's great to have you here. And there are certain people that I see in my chat, or, that comment on certain things, that you've been with me for a long, like, you've been with me on some sort of, like, when I've done shows on other platforms. And, there's a history of us knowing each other, and it's nice to see you pop in and say hi. And I appreciate the well wishes of my upcoming graduation. If you look at my timeline, I posted some photos of the, it's called Grad Fest. So they have like 3 days for us to pick up our graduation box, our cap and gown, and start to, our sashes, and start to make that preparation for the actual graduation. So so I want to thank, I mean, it's a lot. It's a, for those of you who like gave me a shout out here, I appreciate it, the support. Uh, and I think that when I started to go back to college, I had a lot of support from my family about it, specifically my mom. Too. My mom's been rooting me on the whole time. And I had, a lot of friends, a lot of comics that have supported me on going back to college and things like that, and everything. And there are other older people at my university. I'm working on an article right now on ageism at Fresno State, or older people going to college. And I interviewed them, and I'm looking forward. I'm finished. I'm doing a rewrite, so I'm in the middle of rewriting it. So it should be published here pretty soon. And there are many reasons why people decide to go back and get their education. And I would say, the Republicans or the conservatives that, judge people for like, oh, you're just on, you're just living off of Social Security. You're just on, you're on SSI, and, you're on, you're whatever, like Section 8. Okay. Like these kind of societal castaways of older people that didn't get the golden nugget to be able to have enough money to let the pharmaceutical companies abuse them at the end of their life. But whatever, I digress. Okay, but but you can actually say, oh yeah, I might be an older person, but I'm still healthy. My mind is still sharp. I still have talent and abilities to contribute to society, or to contribute to the collective with the remaining days of my life. And yeah, I can earn an income, and yeah, I can give myself ultimately a better life in my later years. And I encourage people to do that. That should be like what the Republicans would like, really, that people, that older people can realize that they can still do something, still learn something, still improve what they, their abilities, and what they do in the world, and what they have in their personal life. And to me, that's the American way. And I think that if you are a person out there that is thinking, hey, maybe I like to go back to college, maybe I'll just learn a new skill. Like even at Fresno State, we have something called Life Learners. You could just go back and take courses just because you want to keep knowing stuff without even like really, needing to have a degree or something like that. It's when we stop using our mind, it's when we stop asking questions, when we stop living with curiosity and joy, and self-empowerment, no matter what age you have, then I think that we kind of crumble and fall apart. So for all the naysayers out there that said these things, it's like, oh well, whatever, you're not stopping me. I'm still going to go down and get my degree. I'm going to go to my ceremony and wear my cap and gown and grab that graduation degree because I've earned it. I worked really hard for it. And so, yeah, it's an achievement. And, there's I've been like listening to the song that really pumps me up. It's This Girl Is on Fire, but I'm not going to play it because, I'm probably going to get like, I don't want to get a copyright for playing the song. But if you hung out for the show, what all those credit cards that Doge found, how many fake identities have like credit cards? I don't know. I'm not, to be honest with you, I'm going to have to Google about the fake credit cards because I'm not up on that. The Doge having credit cards. Um, Technically, as a reporter at this point, and where I'm going to, I'm really not supposed to share my political views publicly unless I'm with a publication that's slanted either way, right? Because there are biased publications that people watch. But for the time being, I'm trying to be as neutral as I can. But I will say this: there's some choices being made by the White House that are unsettling to me right now. And I'm not necessary. I have a critical eye on what's going on. So that's how I feel about it. We live in interesting times, and what is that? Was that Chinese saying? They say that's actually an insult. If it's interesting, it means it's probably not going all that great. So, but anyway, I'm gonna take off. I've been talking for like about an hour and 15 minutes. If you like my stream, please like and share. I'm going to start doing this, because I am adding content. Anyways, I kind of backed off, but if you would like to contribute to Not My Rabbit Hole, or buy me coffee, or give me a graduation gift or whatever, or show appreciation in support of Not My Rabbit Hole, you can, there's the places that you can do: my PayPal, Venmo, and all the rest there. And yeah, hi Paul. Yeah, have a great weekend too. Have a great weekend. And yeah, it's Saturday. The weekend. And yeah. So I will play a song, I think. Take us out of here. Something fun. I did the opening song, but I don't want to be redundant. So maybe I will do this one.